Hello, everybody. Hello. How is everybody tonight? Not bad? Not bad? Oh, I hate when people say not bad. Not bad. It's just exactly what it says. It's just not bad. Is it good? I don't know. Maybe. Is it good? It's probably not great. It's probably not fantastic. But it could also be bad, right? I mean, it could also be terrible. Let me say that. Because it's just not bad. So think about that. Think about that. But it is confusing, though. Because the way people say it is like, not bad. So they put all this emphasis into saying the two words, not bad, when they could just say it's good. Or they could say it's great. They could say it's fabulous. They could say a lot of things, but just not bad. It's just very lukewarm, you know? It's like, so you have some friends over, and you have this new beer. You're just dying for them to try. It's like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for my friends to try this beer. Huh, look at that. I got some beer right here, believe it or not. Just sitting here. How about that? Some pumpkin beer. All right. So, yeah, so you have some friends over, and you're like, you got to try this pumpkin beer. And they're like, not bad. It's like, no. No. You can't say that. Not at my house. Not at our house. You can't say not bad. Say anything. Say it's the best beer you've ever had. Say it's great. Say it's terrible. I don't care. Just don't say it's not bad. You can't say that. Actually, give me that beer back. I don't care if it is COVID. I'll still drink it. You can't. You're not allowed to have that beer after saying not bad. Yeah. I was doing karaoke one night, and I got off the stage, and I heard a guy say, he's not bad. I was like, I would have rather have heard anything else, anything. Like, he's the best singer ever, or he's the worst singer I ever heard. You know, anything other than not bad. But it goes deeper than that even. So, over the summer, this past summer in Oregon, we had record degree heat. It was 116 degrees in Oregon. And so we're trying to keep the house cool. And my wife, she walks in the room and she was like, it's not terrible in here. So I sat there thinking, not terrible. So that takes it to another level. Like there's not bad. Now there's not terrible. So think about that. So not terrible could be bad because terrible's way down here. You got bad, good, great, you know. So not terrible. So that brings it, yeah. So, but I knew what she was trying to say. She was trying to say, oh, it's comfortable in here. It feels good in here. You know, she could have just said that instead of not terrible. But I'm glad she did because I'm like, hey, I can use that for my comedy show. Yeah, so not terrible. Then there's not good. There's not great. It just goes on, you know, to make my head spin. But so, yeah, let's not talk about it anymore. Yeah, I'm done with that. Anyway, so I'm Chad, and it really must be the end of the world if I'm up here doing comedy. I know all my friends are like, what Chad's doing comedy? What's going on here? Because nobody would expect this. And I like that. I like to shock people. Yeah. But anyway, it's funny because I've been writing things, and I was just ready to go out to a club or go to an open mic and give it a try, give some comedy a chance. And then COVID hit. So there goes that. And now we're in this kind of in-between phase. You can go out, you can go to a concert, you can go to a comedy show, but at the same time, it's like COVID numbers are rising. I don't know what to do. And so I'm kind of glad that things like Twitch exist, so I can do it here. And so this is the first stream on Twitch, and this is the Portland Variety Show. So this channel can be many things. It can be comedy. It can be, we did like a show and tell. It can be music, anything. And that's why it's the Portland Variety Show. But our friend Ray introduced us to Twitch. He's been doing this a long time, and he's a DJ. So he does really good DJ music on Twitch. You can catch him at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. Pacific. I think I got that right. What's that? I'm sorry. I get confused all the time. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. There you go. If you're in between all that, you got to figure that out yourself. I get so tired of these time zones. But anyway, yeah. Our friend Ray, thanks a lot for getting me introduced to Twitch. So Ray and the artist known as My Boyfriend the Pilot, and thanks to my wife Lisa, everybody got me onto this Twitch thing, and I thank you so much. So check out Ray. Check out the artist known as My Boyfriend the Pilot. Check out their streams. And yeah, our friend Ray. So my wife and I and Ray, we all share a love for Bollywood. And when Ray said, I'm doing DJ, I go by PA DJ Ray, Padre. And I was like, that sounds so Bollywood, Padre. So shout out to Padre. Yeah, it sounds like a Bollywood name. If you're into Bollywood, you know what I mean. But if you're not, check it out. Bollywood's so cool. Anyway, so yeah, so here I am on Twitch doing comedy, and it's pretty good because, people can't throw things at me. You can't throw tomatoes or beer bottles. So, yeah, part of the reason I'm up here, a couple months ago, I recently turned 50 years old. I can't believe it. I really can't. But I have the proof right here. Look at that. AARP. Oh, come on, camera. There we go. AARP. How about that? Not only that, I got two more. I got three ARP notices so far. I'm sure they'll keep pounding me because I haven't joined. But it's funny because about a week before I turned 50 years old, I go out to the mailbox, which I hate going to the mailbox. You never know. You never get much good stuff out of the mailbox. But anyway, go to the mailbox. Oh, look at that. AARP. I stood there for a while just kind of soaking it in. I'm like, wow, that kind of solidifies it. There's my AARP notice. Like, I would have rather got a notice from the IRS that I'm going to be audited. Maybe that nasty, you missed your gas payment for a day. We're going to shut your gas off. All those nice things you get in the mail. But no, I got the AARP stuff. I was like, great. Yeah. So 50 years old, that's halfway to 100. That's a nice way to put it. And But another way to put it is I'm only half a day old in mayfly years. So the mayfly only lives one day. So half a day old in mayfly years. And I'm thinking, wow, mayflies, like, do they know they only live a day? Like, are they born and they're like, geez, I better hurry up and learn how to fly, learn how to eat bugs, because I'm going to die at the end of the day? Or is it... Or does a day feel like 70 years to them? I don't know. Maybe they don't think about it at all. And what about the mayflies that are into reincarnation? You know, believe they come back. So they would die in a day, and the next day would be the same day again. It would be like Groundhog Day. Every single day would start over. That's pretty wild. But thinking about bugs, what about cicadas? I know my friends in Pittsburgh, they know what cicadas are. People in the Midwest, we don't have them out here in the West, but I remember cicadas growing up. They were the most interesting bugs. Like, they lived underground for 17 years. And then they came out of the ground, they made it, and they died. But most of them didn't get that far because they're like candy to dogs. Most of them get eaten by dogs. But yeah, I always thought that was interesting. And I was hearing on the news, I mean, some people are eating them too. They're putting cicadas on pizzas and everything. It's really crazy. But anyway, I don't know how we got on this subject of bugs. I'll get back to getting old. How about that? 50 years old. It's crazy. So I don't know. I don't know if you noticed my shirt. Let me get closer to the camera. Don't get too close now. Oregon Senior Olympics. How about that? So this this t-shirt is an experiment. So I'm going to wear this t-shirt all the time, and I'm going to see when it becomes not funny anymore. Like, when do I wear this shirt and people are just like, well, yeah, look at him. Oregon Senior Olympics, he probably won the gold medal. So I'll let you know how that comes out. But I also remember, I hope he's listening, my cousin Todd, my cousin Todd and I, we were like brothers growing up. And we were always out riding our bicycles. And we were out riding one day, and for some reason I was thinking about the Prince song, 1999. So for you youngsters out there, Prince was an artist that was very popular in the 80s and the 90s. And one of his biggest songs was called 1999. And the lyrics were, "We're gonna party like it's 1999. And me being like 12 years old, somewhere around there, I was like, what do they mean by that? What do they mean by we're going to party like it's 1999? So my cousin Todd, who's a little bit older than me, so he won't remember any of this. I was like, Todd, what's this song? Like, why are they going to party like it's 1999? I don't understand that. And Todd was like, well, you know, some people think when the year 2000 hits, it's going to be the end of the world. So I thought about that for, you know, about half a second, and I was like, 2000, end of the world? We'll be like 30. Yeah, who cares? 30's ancient. Who cares if the end of the world comes? So yeah, Todd and I, we were like, we were kind of like Jackass the movie, but we didn't become stars. We did all kinds of crazy stunts. We rode anything that had two wheels, one wheel, half a wheel, anything. And we're pretty crazy back in rural Pennsylvania. Rural. That's a hard word to say. Rural Pennsylvania. And we used to ride our bikes and we used to crash on purpose, like by the side of the road, and see if cars would stop. It was a lot of fun. They'd stop, hey, are you guys okay? And we'd get up and get on our bikes and ride off real quick and just start laughing. It was a lot of fun. But we also, we used to dress up like in my grandmother's old clothes, and we walk up and down the road. And in rural Pennsylvania, that's enough to get you shot. Yeah, you'll get shot by a hunting rifle in rural Pennsylvania if you're doing that. So, I guess when I think about it, I'm glad I did make it to 50. But, yeah, 50 years old. I'm like, when I turn 30, not so bad, whatever. 40, I still have my hair. I'm good. I can deal with it. But 50, it's harder to shake off. It's harder to shake off. I still have my hair. I'm glad of that. I'm messing it all up. Yeah. I still have my hair. I'm so glad. But, man, 50, it's not so funny anymore. But I'm trying to make it funny. So, anyway. But I think there's a time in everybody's life where you realize that you're old. You realize you're getting old or you're old. And I remember that time distinctly. It was shortly after I met my wife, Lisa, and we went back to Ohio to meet some of her relatives that she'd never met before. So it was interesting. So there was like cousins and just other relatives. I don't know what they were at this point. I can't remember. But we get there and we're shaking hands. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. And so while we're there in the basement, you can hear music playing. It was live music going on. So it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And it sounded like punk rock, coming from the basement. And so shortly after we were there at meeting all these relatives, these guys, young guys, come up out of the basement who were playing this music. And I thought, wow, this is a good conversation starter, because Lisa and I are in a band, and we love music. So we were like, oh, I'll be able to meet some of her cousins or whatever they are. So they come up, and so I was thinking to myself, this music's not bad. No, it was actually pretty good. It was pretty good, whatever. So they come up. So they come up and we meet them, and I was like, wow, hey, you guys are pretty good. That sounded great. What kind of bands do you like? What do you listen to? So they rattled off all these bands, and, of course, some of them I recognize. I was like, hey, I saw them back in 88. I saw them back in 89. And, yeah, that's great. And they're looking at me like, what is this old guy talking to us for? I realized at that moment, I'm like, I'm that guy. I'm the old guy talking to these young guys, and they're looking at me like, why is he talking to us? And that's when the first time I remember I'm actually getting old. That's when I really felt old. But then I also felt that things are different with different generations, because back in the day, my first job I ever had, I was a lifeguard, and I worked at a private swimming pool club. I was a lifeguard, and I was there. I don't know if I was at work or not. I spent a lot of time there, so I was swimming if I wasn't at work, whatever. But I'm playing music all the time, so I had my boom box. Yeah, I had my boom box playing. So explain that to the youngsters. I don't have time for that. But yeah, playing my boombox with a cassette, of course. And playing my cassette of Gary Newman. So again, for you youngsters, if you don't know who Gary Newman is, you got to look him up. I mean, I love Gary Newman. He was one of the first music artists I ever got into, and I love him to this day. But yeah, playing Gary Newman. Remember, I'm in rural Pennsylvania, and some guy, he's an old guy. He's probably like 30. He's got a kid there swimming, and so this old guy comes up to me and is like, "Oh wow, Gary Newman, cool." He's like, "I saw Gary Newman back in '78." I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute. You saw Gary Newman like when he was first starting out in '78?" I'm like, "This guy is gonna be my best friend." You know, I was so smitten. I was like, wow, this guy knows who Gary Newman is. I thought, this is rural PA. I'm the only one that knows Gary Newman. So it was just a different experience, like from how I felt and how Lisa's ungrateful little cousins felt. You know, they were like, look at this old guy. And I was like, wow, this old guy at the pool that's like 30 saw Gary Newman. So, yeah, very different. Different, you know, you can see generation gaps. And, yeah, I guess it's all part of being 50. I don't know. Time for a drink. It's the last pumpkin beer. All right. So yeah, rural PA. But turning 50, now I'm thinking of cake. 50 years old, parties. I love sweets. And I'm thinking of cake now. I'm thinking of other phrases that bother me. And one of them is, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Or it could also be said, he just wants his cake and eat it too. Think about that. Why not? Who's not going to have a cake and want to eat it too? I don't understand that. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Yes, you can. It's right here and I'm going to eat it, you know? But it makes it out like you're a bad person if you want to have a cake and eat it too. It's just really weird. And I remember it, like the first time I heard it was back, my mother, you know, she would watch her stories. Now, again, I got to explain it to the young folks out there. Soap operas used to be called stories, and stay-at-home moms like my mom used to get the kids off to school so that they could watch their soap operas that were on, like Days of Our Lives and Young and the Restless and whatever. Now they put them on at night and call it The Bachelor. You know, it's just trash TV in a different form. But my mom would love to watch her stories. She gets so involved in these stories. And there was always some guy that was having an affair, doing something bad. And I remember, you know, being a kid and my mom saying, "Oh, look, he just wants his cake and eat it too." I was like, he wants his cake and eat it too. And you dislike this guy because of that. He's a bad, evil person for some reason because he wants his cake and eat it too. I was very confused as a kid. But yeah, I get what the phrase is trying to say. Like somebody that wants it all and more. And sometimes it's not in a good situation or something. But why make it about a nice cake, a nice, innocent, beautiful, sweet, delicious cake? Like, don't defile cakes. That's not right. But can't have your cake and eat it too. So I thought about this. And I thought, I'm going to go to Costco and I'm going to buy the biggest cake I can find. Shouldn't be hard at Costco. I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to put it on the shelf. And I'm just going to leave the cake there. I'm just going to let it on the shelf. And when people come to visit, oh, hey, Chad, how you doing? Oh, you got a cake over there on the shelf, just sitting there. Yeah, that's true. And don't think I'm going to eat that cake. Don't think I'm going to be that guy. I don't want my cake and eat it too. That cake's going to stay there. So that's my plan. Next time I go to Costco, I'm buying a cake. You come over to my house, you can see that I didn't touch that cake. There's not even a mark on that cake. All right, I'm not that guy. I'm not that kind of guy. Yeah. So, there's lots of phrases that drive me crazy that I hate. I got a whole list of them, but I won't bore you with all of them. But another one is poor as a church mouse. Poor as a church mouse. So think about that. So in the whole world of mice, if you think about it, I think church mice probably have it pretty good. I mean, they got a nice big church. They're out of the elements. There are toddlers running around. They're dropping Cheetos on the floor. They're spilling Kool-Aid. There's cookie crumbs. I mean, my church mice are probably doing pretty good, right? So, I think of the poor field mouse. The field mouse has nothing but a big field. The field mouse is out in the elements. Hawks are flying down and grabbing them. So, I think it should be poor as a field mouse. So I'm old, of course. So I'm going to write to the people that make up these sayings, and I'm going to say, you got to change that to poor as a field mouse. No more. Leave these church mice alone. They're fine. They're fine. So, yeah, geez, there's so many of these phrases. So another one is, we paid good money for that. We paid good money for that. I got some money here. Look at this. Ooh. Now, remember, the theme here is that I just turned 50. So this is real money. There's no Bitcoins here, okay? This is real money. Paper money. All right? So, yeah, you get your check cashed. And, you go to the bank and you come home. You got your money here. You divvy it up. You're like, oh, okay. Here's the good money. Here's the bad money. Okay. All right. Hey, stop jumping on that couch over there. We paid good money for that. Yeah. And you look over here. Oh, the cat's peeing in the chair. You know what? We bought that with the bad money. I don't care. Let the cat pee in the chair. I don't care. Paid good money for that. That's a good one. I like that. So this next one, though, or this next thing, I need your help for. So I really have a problem. So, do you know what this is? Let me get closer to the camera here. See what that is? It's a floss threader. You floss your teeth with that thing. I see these things everywhere, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I walk down the street. It could be any type of neighborhood, anywhere. I'm not talking about walking beside dumpsters, okay? You can be anywhere. I see these stupid floss threaders everywhere I go. I started taking pictures of these things, and I don't know why. So I told my wife, Lisa, I said, why do I see these things everywhere? And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, these floss threaders, I see them everywhere I go. She thought I was nuts. So we're walking along one day. Sure enough, there's one on the sidewalk. I said, look, there's a floss threader right there. And she was like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. And so she doesn't think I'm as crazy now, because she saw one too and has seen one a couple times since then. So yeah, I'm not crazy, and I don't know why these are everywhere. They're terrible, because I bought a whole pack just to use for this comedy show, and that's all they're gonna be good for. I floss, don't get me wrong, but I don't use these things. They get stuck in my teeth. They're really terrible. But obviously somebody is out there using them, because you see them all over the place, and I want to know why. And so yeah, think about this. So who's out there saying, oh wow, I'm out on the street, or I'm in my car. Guess what? It's time to floss. You know, they're responsible enough. They're responsible enough to floss their teeth, but they're not responsible enough to throw it in the garbage. Like, oh, time to floss. Oh, guess what? Just throw it on the ground. I don't care. Yeah, mini cheese slicer. Yeah, maybe. You could try with that. Or yeah, somebody said chopping their cocaine. That could be. You know, my wife said that too. My wife Lisa said maybe it's a drug thing. And yeah, the other thing is maybe they give them out in packets to people or something, and they're just tossing them. I don't know. It is weird, but pay attention to that when you're walking. See if you see any of these. I've taken tons of pictures of these floss threaders laying around everywhere. It doesn't matter what kind of neighborhood or what it is. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, maybe it's cocaine. I don't know. It's Portland here. Who knows? But I don't know. Maybe you see them where you're from too. I don't know. But let me know. Yeah, if you find out what you think, why these floss shredders are all over the place, I'd love to know. So get on the Portland Variety Show and let me know what you think. It's an ongoing experiment. But yeah, turning 50. Let's get back to getting old. Yeah, I want to think about that more, right? But so my wife and I, we love going mall walking. You can laugh. Come on. You're supposed to laugh. This is supposed to be funny at this point, because I'm not elderly yet. So saying that we go mall walking should still be funny. Okay? But I feel like we're going to grow into it. So now Now when we go mall walking, it's like you get the old people that are like, what do they think they're doing? We're here to get exercise, and they're getting in our way. What do they think they're doing? I don't understand. Yeah. So I feel like, when the old people were like, oh, hey, look, it's Chad and Lisa. You want to race? That. Carry on. That, whenever they want to race, that's when you know we're elderly. Yeah, and we fit in. So we'll wait and see when that day comes. But mall walking's fun. It really is. You can people watch. And again, growing up in the 80s, the mall was always the cool place to go. That's where the cool people were. So I'm hoping we're cool. I don't know. We go to the mall. Are we cool? Yeah, there's a lot of other cool people at the mall. I don't know if it's like this in your neighborhood or where you live, but it's totally acceptable to go out shopping in your pajamas. Yeah, here in Oregon. You see that everywhere. Oh, yeah, someone said Benetton. Yeah, I remember Benetton. I never had enough money when I was younger to go in there, but yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we see people in their pajamas all the time. Some lady, a couple of times, she had some Elmo suit on. It was crazy. We would just laugh. We'd follow them around for a while, just laughing. Yeah, totally acceptable to go anywhere in your pajamas in Oregon, in Portland. I don't know if it's that way in your neck of the woods, but so. We like to go mall walking. It's fun to see the people, walk past the stores, see what's going on. And we're just walking along. I remember one day we're walking, and I come across this guy, this really old guy. And he had a big, long gray beard. He had on this like double-breasted suit with these shiny buttons. He was holding a musket. Now, I don't know how he got in the mall with a musket, but I was like, that's interesting. But he looked very upset. He was almost ready to cry. I was like, wow, what's wrong with this poor guy? So we slowed down a little bit, and I was like, wow, what's wrong with him? So I slowed down to try to hear what was going on, and he was sitting there shaking his head. He's just like, my wife, she sends me to the mall. All she wants me to get is candles. All she wants is candles. And I look up, and what do I see? Yankee Candle. Yankee Candle. What am I going to do? I can't go in there and buy candles. I'm a Confederate. I felt so bad for that guy. Like, they don't have anywhere in the mall for Confederates to buy candles. But I didn't want to get involved. Sorry, bud. Yeah, we have to keep walking. We're behind all the old people. We got to keep going here. So we keep walking along, and we come to the family restroom. I have to use the restroom because I'm old and I can't wait very long before I have to use the restroom. And the men's room is closed. And but the family restroom's open. I was like, what is this family restroom? So I walk in, and it's like, the mom's there changing the baby. The dad and the son, they're playing catch. Go, son, go long. They're playing catch back and forth. It's like the dog runs up with the frisbee, wants me to throw the frisbee. I was like, oh, I can't do this. No, I'm like, yeah, I'll hold it. I think. I hope. Nah, enough of this family restroom. Oh, jeez. So, keep walking. I'm holding it, we're walking along. And so in the mall, you have all these kiosks that are always selling stuff that nobody wants. And so they get the most aggressive people to work these places. And so we're walking along. You try not to make eye contact. It's like, Lisa, walk faster. Come on. But no, the guy sees you. He comes up. He's like, oh, hi, your wife. She has such beautiful skin. You need to try this. Here. I'm like, oh, my wife has such beautiful skin. Well, guess what? She doesn't need that. So it's on the mall floor now, along with all the floss shredders. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, hey, maybe Mr. Kiosk guy can help me out. Hey, do you know anywhere in the mall where I can get Confederate candles? Yeah, that shuts them up. Yeah, they let it. They want you to keep moving along at that point. They're like, Confederate candles, I'm not touching that. You just move along. Yeah. So we keep walking along. And, we pass the third luggage store in the mall. The third luggage store. Nobody's in there. And, I'm thinking to myself, like, who goes to luggage stores in the mall? Like, who's sitting at home saying, hey, honey, you know what? We need new luggage. I know. Let's go to the mall and pay full price. So who goes to the mall to pay full price for luggage? There must be somebody, but it's not me. So we keep walking. We don't go into the luggage store. And we go past the Pottery Barn. Now, I have to tell you, it's not a barn. And if you're looking for pottery, you're going to be very disappointed. Now, if you're in the market for several shades of off-white linen, you're in luck. You're in luck. Like, you go in there like, I'm looking for some beige colored sheets. Oh, yes, sir. We have some here and here and here and here and here. But no pottery. So, since Lisa and I were looking for tons of pottery, we just kept moving along. But I would suggest go mall walking. It's good exercise. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, as I said before, I might have said, I don't know, I wear many hats. So I have my comedy hat on now, but yeah, I wear many hats. And the one hat that I wear to actually make money and be able to live and eat and whatever else is I'm a nurse. So, yeah. Yeah, believe it or not, I don't get any money doing stuff like this. Anyway, so yeah, if there's any nurses out there, I know that you guys can all be comics. Trust me. We all have enough stories to last us a lifetime, really. And so I'd like to share one of those stories with you tonight. So I remember back when I was working in Pittsburgh, we had a patient that was prescribed beer. Believe it or not, guess what? You can get prescribed beer when you go to the hospital. Yeah. So these people, some people got beer so that they didn't go into withdrawal and everything. So they prescribe them like 2 beers a shift, something like that. So yeah. So my patient was prescribed some beer, and it's in the fridge. And I used to always joke around with my fellow nurses. I would be like, hey, let's have our meeting here. Have a beer. And one of my fellow nurses was like, you know what? I wouldn't drink that if I was allowed. So that made me think. I was like, you are right about that. And I'm like, I have to go in there and give my patient this beer here in a little bit. And the hospital always would purchase the cheapest beer possible. They would get, like, it was funny to see just what kind of beer they were going to have. And so this night it was Schlitz. So they had Schlitz. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to have to go in there in a little while and give my patient a Schlitz. And he's probably going to throw it at me. I'm thinking. But I go in there in a little while, and I was like, sir, it's time for your beer. Hold on. Let's pretend this is a Schlitz. Here we go. I was like, here you go, sir. And it had like the opposite effect. So I hold it up, and my patient was like, he got this look of euphoria over his face, and he was just like, Schlitz, you guys have the good stuff. I haven't had that in years. True story. That's exactly what he said. And he was my best patient for the rest of the night. He was my buddy. And I was thinking, I don't know if the hospital buys the cheapest beer just because it's the cheapest beer, or if they buy the cheap beer to try to keep people from drinking. Like, we'll buy them the most awful beer they've ever tasted. Well, in this case, it definitely would have backfired, because I'm sure my patient was discharged and went out and bought as much Schlitz as he could possibly find. Schlitz. Schlitz. So that beer is not bad. 2 knots. Think about that. So anyway, when all this craziness is over and COVID is gone, I hope we can all sit down at the bar, have some fun, and share a Schlitz. I spent many years not making it as a musician. I wanted to see, hey, what's it like not to make it as a comic? So what do you think? Not bad? Not bad. All right. All right. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. Thanks for my quote unquote first Twitch stream. So thank you, Ray. Thank you, Min. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, everybody on Twitch. And of course, thanks to my wife, Lisa. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a good night.